electorate who sell food? It's something I very much want to know about.
Madam Chair. I call Kiritapu Allan.
Madam Chair, I appreciate being able to take a call this evening on this bill, Consumers' Right to Know Country of Origin of Food Bill. And before I commence my remarks, I want to wish the member happy birthday, and I hope that this is a fantastic birthday present for you. Madam Chair, this evening I really only want to traverse four questions. And I think, look, if we take the member's bill that was introduced by Stephen Browning, and there have been a range of quite substantive amendments from that bill, and whilst I'm now a member on primary production, I wasn't there for some of the previous discussions that you had since this parliamentary term commenced and since the member picked this bill up. So I've got a couple of questions across a range of different issues. If we turn to clause 5.3, excuse me. So if we turn to clause 5.3, there's a discussion there, that regulated foods must include, and the question I have is around the frozen foods. I know that there is an exception. A couple of questions I had about frozen foods. So one, they are included in the regulated foods, but I saw that they're not going to be included until 18 months after the commencement. So I had just wanting to understand the rationale there, why the delay. Two, in the original, when this bill was introduced by the member Stephen Browning, there was a whole range of single component foods that were intended to be included: fruit, vegetable, meat, seafood, nut, grain, seed, oil, and others. And I know that not all of these foods have been included. It'd be helpful to understand why, because obviously there have been you've obviously received some advice, or there's been some issues flagged with them, but particularly around things such as seed, and actually the honourable member Stuart Nash earlier raised some questions around nuts, but there are. It would be really useful just to understand the policy rationale for not including those specific foods in the definition of the regulated foods. I think it is. Where is it? It is. I think in clause 5.4, it's an oddly worded provision, perhaps, and I appreciate the work that have gone in by the officials to help us understand these particular provisions. But it says here, however, the Consumer Information Standard may exclude any food from being a regulated food if the Minister considers that requiring the food to comply with the standard would be unduly onerous or wouldn't be helpful, basically, to consumers. I'm interested in the threshold for unduly onerous and what would be considered unhelpful. I think that there was in the commentary to the bill, I saw that there was a reference to sort of roadside stalls. If that's an example, I'd be interested in others, and my question there would be, why don't we just have an express exemption? Because it does seem that these are relatively undefined terms. Unduly onerous, is that for the small stall holder or others, or it'd be good to understand a little bit further there, if particularly this issue ever did get down to the courts, where they were considering imposing a penalty of between $10,000 to $50,000, and it turned on the articulation in that provision unduly onerous. It would be good to understand what the intent of Parliament was for those that are seeking to interpret it. In clause 5.8, Oh, yeah, right, sorry, I think I covered that off. That was around the nuts and other foods and why they haven't been included at this, sorry, not nuts, seeds, isn't it? Seeds? Yeah, the range of foods I've already mentioned. I won't get into that. Madam Chair.
I call Gareth Hughes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kia ora, na mihi nui kia koutou, kia ora. I want to pick on some of the